Part 36. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Faye. Chapter 355. Chapter 352. Let's see what's going on behind the scenes. Baimwe burst into laughter. After spending some time with her third brother, her temper became increasingly irritable. Looking at her smiling and gloating, Liju raised his eyebrows and said, "Is the mission completed?" Baimwe coughed lightly and said seriously, "For a moment, the painting has been received, but Adams will definitely not give up. I am on the set now and have limited mobility, so I may need a little help from you, boss." Liju rolled his eyes. "The information I gave you clearly stated that the other party wants you to successfully steal the painting alone and hand it over to him personally. If I intervene in the middle, your task will not be considered completed." Baimwe's little face immediately fell down, and he said aggrievedly, "Boss, I really can't get away, please help." "It's not easy to act coquettishly." Liju glanced at her expressionlessly. "I am the examiner for your training this time. If I help you, what will others think? It's okay if you don't mention this. But when you mention this, Baimwe feels even more aggrieved. What do you mean? Why is it that my task is so troublesome?" He Yao and Ji Yunchi's mission was completed effortlessly without even leaving the imperial capital. She still wanted to take advantage of the endorsement opportunity to come to this shabby place in country H to steal a painting? What kind of bad luck is this? Liju, the difficulty level of others is much higher than yours. I think I'll give you a break because of your recent mental instability. Why are you still complaining? The third child is now locking himself in a small dark room and trying to crack the firewall of a multinational group. The seventh child is fascinated by the patient conditions described in the mission intelligence and now has no intention of completing the mission. The fourth child is staying at Chi's house all day. Even if he receives a mission, he can't escape. As for Xiao Shi, he has been wandering around for a week. I heard that he has been entangled by a stupid CEO recently. He has no way to do anything. Let alone the mission, I'm afraid he can't find his home anywhere." Liju counted the progress of other people's tasks for her in detail, and then sneered, "Then you tell me that you don't think this task is too troublesome." Baimwe opened his eyes wide across the screen. "So, I am the first to complete the task." Liju nodded slightly. Baimwe was suddenly flattered. Liju curled her lips coldly. "So, stop talking nonsense to me. Go to work. You still have the last bit of your task. Don't come back until you finish it." Liju hung up the phone without caring about her expression. Baimwe looked at the screen that instantly went black, and the corner of his mouth twitched. Thinking of Liju's words just now, he felt a little secretly happy in his heart. She was actually the first to almost complete the task. "I can't help but spin in circles with excitement." Baimwe smiled and exited the chat box with Liju, clicked into the WeChat group, and sent a long list of emoticons in the group. 6. Everyone, how is the progress? Listen to the boss, you can't do it, tut. The last tut is meaningful. If you're a man, you can't say no. Although I am not a man, I can't say no. Hey, you two are quite free to play with your mobile phones when you have free time. 3. There is a fart, damn it, who can tell me why this group's firewall is so difficult to break? It's been 3 whole days, I haven't finished it yet. Where does this put my number 1 hacker's face? Children, don't use bad words. Crying, fifth brother, how is the progress over there? Wait a moment, the signal here is not very good. At, where are people? Farewell at, Lao Wu. His mission this time was in a deep mountain, and the internet was probably disconnected again, or he encountered some wild beast. 3. Fifth brother is really miserable, isn't Chi's sister often in the mountains? Let her help fifth brother at. I have no time, I am studying something, let the fifth one wish for his own happiness. Seventh sister, could you please take this mission seriously? If you fail to complete it, you will be sanctioned by the boss. She has been studying the mission information for several days and has not taken any action at all. If she continues like this, she will really be punished. 7. Sanctions are sanctions. Wow, the seventh sister is so strong. Thumbs up. 4. The third child, the seventh child is responsible for treating the eldest brother. Any punishment can be lighter if you are different from others, don't make a fool of yourself. 6. Fourth brother, don't just talk about others, what about you? I heard that I can't get away, it's because Wang Xiangrunyu is in my arms and I don't want to leave, right? Qi Sijin's handsome face turned dark instantly. What warm fragrant nef, right? Isn't it uncomfortable for her to have trouble all day long? 4. Baimwu, do you believe that I complained to your brother? Baimwu rolled his eyes with disdain on his face. 6. If you have the ability to sue, let me see if he believes you or me. 4. Het. The two of them started to argue in the group with each other. At this time, He Yao came out and said with emotion, well, on the surface, she is a wealthy young man, a lady from aristocratic family, and behaves like a gentleman and lady, gentle and polite, but secretly, she is so noisy regardless of her image. Is it human nature? Twisted or? Before she could finish typing, she was interrupted by Baimwu and Qi Sijin. 6. Shut up, none of your business. Shut up. Labor and management are happy. You two have quite a tacit understanding at this time. They should really let third Master Qi and young Master Bai see what kind of faces their good nephew and good sister have behind their backs. Tisk tisk tisk. Baimwu snorted coldly and decided not to get along with them. 6. I advise you to complete the mission as soon as possible, otherwise the boss will never let you go. 7. By the way, Lao Lu, how is the boss's health lately? 6. Not sure, you should ask third brother about this. Ji Yuncha frowned, a trace of doubt flashing in his eyes. 7. Mr. Qi Sanyi, why, is he also in Continent S? Could it be that Li Ju and Master Qi directly pursued him from the Empire to Continent S? 6. I forgot to tell you that the third brother, is Jing Junyu. 7. 3. 4. Ji Yuncha was so shocked that he almost bit his tongue and choked on his saliva. What did you say? Jing Junyu? Does J organization belong to Mr. Qi? 6. She almost fainted with fright when she first saw Qi Jinkai in Zhu. Although she and Qi Jinkai didn't play together for a long time, they were in the same circle. They had known each other since they were young. They had never heard any news about their status, which caught her off guard. Luckily Li Ju was there at that time, otherwise she would have exposed her secret at that time. Baimwu sighed and continued, not only that, but my brother is also a member of Organization J, I'm so hummed, they hid it so well, not even talking about my biological sister. 3. I was so shocked that my melons dropped. What kind of shocking plot is this? No novel authors would dare to write like this, right? In order to make up the word count, I copied 100 words first and revised them tomorrow. I can't help it. I've been busy lately and I've been stuck in writing. I feel like my brain has turned into mush. It would be great if I could code out one chapter. Yesterday, I was criticized by the editor again. This update is broken, I'm going to cry. Oh. End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy Enfei. Chapter 356. Chapter 353. My eldest nephew is the most handsome. Now that Baimwu thought about the situation at that time, he was still full of things to say. There was simply too much to say. 6. You don't know that at that time, I was standing there like an idiot, and my mask almost came off in fear. Fortunately you have a mask, otherwise the picture would be great. I don't dare to think about the picture. Dash 6. 3. Suddenly I remembered, doesn't the fourth brother know the identity of the third master? Why have I never heard him mention it? When he Yao mentioned this, Bimweo suddenly realized this. I almost forgot, fourth brother, what the is going on? Chi Saijin. Chi Saijin felt that he was very confused. Bimweo has been at a loss ever since he said Chi Jinkai was the leader of Organization J. He was wondering, was he really Chi Jinkai's nephew? Why does he not know anything about this kind of thing at all? Don't ask me, I'm confused too. 7. Don't count on the fourth child, he is abroad all year round, he doesn't know as much about the Chi family's affairs as I do, what's the use of asking him? A trace of disgust appeared in Bimweo's eyes. 6. Tisk, it's useless. Dash 4. Chi Saijin looked at Bimweo's disgusting words fiercely, grinding his back molars loudly, which made Chi Mao Yi look at him with a strange look. What's wrong? Chi Mao Yi asked. She stood beside him, holding the tickets for the concert and a pile of support items, which blocked her sight. She had to tilt her head and crane her neck to look at his mobile phone. Surrounded by a crowded group of fans, most of them were young girls in their 18s or 19s. Like Chi Mao Yi, each of them held a bunch of support items in their hands. Their faces were filled with excitement, and they kept standing on tiptoes and looking ahead. Team, estimate how long it will take to reach you. The venue, which was not very spacious to begin with, was so packed with fans who came after hearing the news that it was now almost difficult to move even one step. Chi Saijin stood next to Chi Mao Yi. In the past half hour, he could feel his feet being stepped on no less than 10 times. He took a deep breath, turned off the phone screen and put it back in his pocket, forcing himself to calm down, and asked patiently, how long until we get there? If he stays here, he really won't be able to bear it any longer. Chi Mao Yi stood on tiptoe and glanced at the number of people in front of her. She did a rough count and said, there should be dozens more. It's almost time. Wait a minute. Chi Saijin gritted his teeth, that's what you said half an hour ago. He is really crazy to agree to this girl come to some crappy concert. Chi Mao Yi curled her lips at him and said, oh, just wait a little longer. I've been waiting for half an hour, so be patient. Chi Saijin finally couldn't control his expression and said impatiently, what kind of crappy concert is this? It takes so long to get into the venue. Ruining the concert, Chi Mao Yi narrowed her eyes, snorted, and threatened, do you believe that if I shout out what you just said, the fans here will tear you alive on the spot? Chi Saijin pursed her lips, looked around, and wisely did not argue with her. With this number of people, not to mention tearing him alive, one person can drown him with just a drop of spit. I asked you, can you pursue it a little bit? Why should you choose such a popular singer for a concert? Chi Saijin really didn't understand that as the daughter of the Chi family, she was invited to the concerts of so many world-class music masters, but instead of going to attend, she came here to listen to the concerts of popular stars. What kind of distorted brain circuit is this? Chi Mao Yi rolled her eyes and glanced at him disdainfully, you know what the hell? Am I here to attend the concert? I'm here to see my brother. Chi Saijin, what brother? When will she have a brother? Chi Mao Yi's expression suddenly became depressed, she pursed her lips and said with a depressed look, brother hasn't posted on my blog for half a month. I have no face to lick, and I am as bodiless as a mummy. What pig language are you talking about? Chi Saijin felt that he couldn't see what was going on in the minds of these star-chasing girls. He was about to speak out against her, but she grabbed him and pushed him forward. Hurry, hurry, hurry. It's our turn. Hurry up, or you won't have time to watch my brother warm up. Chi Saijin. He has never been such an idiot in his life. A certain woman forced him to wear a headband with a glowing headband that did not match his aesthetics. He was dragged by her and ran wildly into the venue. The speed is no different from when fleeing from the desert. Chi Saijin silently put on the hood of her sweater to cover her face. Absolutely no one can discover him. Otherwise, the Chi family's face will be completely disgraced. Chi Maoyi dragged him around for a long time before finding a seat. After sitting down, Chi Saijin let out a long sigh of relief. It's terrible, it's finally over. He watched Chi Maoyi take out the support items bit by bit, with a serious look as if she was taking an exam, and couldn't help but said, "Isn't it just a face? Could it be possible that he can grow up to be an immortal? Besides, even if he is an immortal, our family has two faces, me and my third uncle, isn't that enough for you?" Chi Maoyi stopped moving, raised her head and rolled her eyes at him. "Haven't you ever heard that if you enter the house of Xilan, you will not smell its fragrance for a long time? Anyone who has seen you and Uncle San since childhood would know how to do it. Are you tired of watching it?" Chi Saijin suddenly opened his eyes wide, unable to believe what he heard. Chi Maoyi was still saying, "To be honest, when I look at you now, I still think you have a little bit of, well, a public face." "What did you say?" Chi Saijin finally couldn't bear it anymore, stood up and asked her loudly, which attracted the attention of people around her. He stretched out his finger and pointed at his handsome and charming face, asking her to check her conscience to confirm what she just said. "What do you think of my appearance, everyone?" Huh! His lungs were about to explode with anger. Has this dead girl's aesthetics been gnawed by a dog? You actually think he looks popular? If you have the ability, find another popular face like him. If he could find it, he would call her daddy. Yes, Chi Saijin is very confident in his appearance. Note that this is not narcissism. People who are narcissistic in this author's works generally do not end well. His face, even in the entertainment industry, is a facial feature that instantly kills all the young talents and is praised as a beautiful face. However, in her mouth, it inexplicably became a public face. Chi Saijin felt that she had been insulted. Feeling the surprised looks from the fans around her, Chi Maoyi frowned, pulled him by the corner of his clothes and pulled him to sit down, softly comforting him. Okay, I understand, my eldest nephew is the most handsome, okay. Let's watch the concert first, okay." After saying that, before Chi Saijin could answer, she gave him a pink cheering stick and asked him to lift it up and shake it together. Chi Saijin looked at the glowing support stick in his hand. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy Enfe. Chapter 357. Chapter 354. Something happened. On the stage not far away, the host slowly walked out from behind the scenes to the center of the stage to say hello to the audience, and the concert began immediately. Chi Maoyi ignored him at all, turned her head and waved the support stick in her hand, her eyes bright, excitedly waiting for Ningfeng to appear. However, a few minutes passed, and the host on the stage was already sweating on his forehead, but Ningfeng still did not appear. The audience gradually began to sigh, and a small number of spectators began to whisper among themselves. The host was on stage, barely keeping calm on the outside, but in fact he was extremely panicked inside. From the headset, the director's suppressed angry voice came, "A few more minutes of commercials." The producer next to him frowned and said, "If we delay it any longer, I'm afraid the fans will be impatient." The director scratched his head irritably and dropped the document in his hand to the ground with a bang. Damn it, who is responsible for the backstage preparations? Why was there no problem with the costumes beforehand? Several staff members in charge shrank their necks, lowered their heads, and no one said a word. After preparing for a concert for so long, such a low-level problem occurred just before the opening. which is simply ridiculous. The director glanced at them with cold eyes. Pack quail for me now? Why did you go there so early? Tell me, who is in charge of the costumes? A short boy raised his hand weakly and said, Director Shen, yes, it's me. Director Shen's angry gaze immediately shifted to him. Why is there something wrong with Ningfeng Dao's costume? I don't know. The boy's voice sounded like a mosquito, and his expression looked like he was about to cry. It was fine when I checked it an hour ago, but somehow. He had made sure to check again before Ningfeng arrived. The clothes were all intact, but when they were about to be used, they were torn. I have locked the door to the dressing room. It is impossible for anyone except me to have the key. I don't know what's going on. The more the boy talks, the more he feels that he is the biggest suspect. But he has indeed never done such a thing, and now he is in a state of panic. Director Shen wanted to scold him a few more times, but was stopped by the producer, who said, the top priority is to solve the problem of the concert, and we will talk about the rest later. The scheduled start time of the concert has arrived soon, but Ningfeng hasn't come on stage yet, and the fans in the audience are already waiting impatiently. This concert has been prepared for a long time, and the company has invested a lot of energy and money, which shows how much it values Ningfeng. If this concert can be successful, it will have a great impact on his future transformation. You must not screw it up. Director Shen pinched his eyebrows with a headache and said, hurry up and see how Ningfeng is doing. Do you think of a solution? In the dressing room backstage, manager Jolin was pacing back and forth anxiously, his brows furrowed to the point of killing a fly, his face ashen, and his expression like a death row prisoner about to be executed. It's over, it's over, it's over now, it's over. He was wandering around and talking, which made Ningfeng's head explode. Brother Joe, can you be quiet for a while? I'm dead again. Ningfeng sat on the sofa and complained dissatisfiedly. His lazy and narrow eyes were fixed on the screen of his mobile phone, his fingers were tapping flexibly, and the sound of game kills kept coming from the dressing room. Because the performance clothes were destroyed, he is now wearing his own personal clothes. Black jeans wrap around his straight long legs, casually placed on the coffee table. A loose shirt is gathered into his waist, and a silver chain hangs on the right side of the belt. The metallic luster is reflected under the light. As one of the most popular traffic niches at the moment, Ningfeng's looks are undoubtedly very impressive. He was even compared with Bimwu, who is known as the top beauty in the industry, right after he debuted. He can be said to be a god. Enjoy the meal. It's just that if you ignore his careless and naive nature in private, he will be more perfect. I'm talking about ancestors, little ancestor Ning, can you be more careful? Do you know how much effort the company has spent on your concert? Are you not in a hurry? Jolin was so angry that his lungs were about to explode when he saw that he was still in the mood to play games. Ningfeng manipulated the character in the game to get the first kill. The corners of his mouth suddenly raised, and joy flashed in his narrow and lazy eyes. As if he didn't hear his words, he cheered, oh highs. Jolin. Jolin, Ningfeng. Did you listen to me? Ningfeng rubbed his ears that were about to be deaf and, Brother Joe, I heard it. Aren't you worried at all? He was really off. Whose concert is this? Knowing what would happen if the concert didn't go smoothly, he actually still played and played here with a cheerful look. Is he really stupid or just pretending to be stupid? Ningfeng raised his head and smiled gently at him, saying, I'm worried, but the company is probably more worried than me, so in comparison, I feel relieved. Anyway, if there was a problem with his concert, the company would have been in vain for so long. So there is no need for him to worry. The company's senior executives who value their own interests more than their own lives will definitely find a way to solve it. Jolin's eyelids twitched. I'm afraid you are the only one in the entire company who dares to say that. If any other artist dared to think like him, he would have packed up and left long ago. Only he dares to be so unscrupulous because he is the company's cash cow and the company's top executives praise him. I tell the truth. Ningfeng put his hand to support his chin, with an innocent expression. If such a big thing happened, it would be strange if my little fans didn't tear up the company's official website if word got out. If they can't think of a way, they can just wait to be scolded. Jolin has absolutely nothing to do with him. Okay, you are the ancestor. Everything you say is right, but what about now? Are we just waiting like this? Everyone outside is in a mess, especially the director, who is almost driven crazy, but they are chatting calmly here. Isn't it good? Ningfeng spread his hands. What else can I do? Go out and interact with my little fans. He imagined the scene for a moment and trembled all over. Let's forget it. Every time they see me, it's like taking a shot of chicken blood. I'm afraid I'll be eaten alive by them. Jolin retorted, even if they don't see you, it's as if they've been given blood. Usually posting a daily selfie can cause a stir in the comment section and lead to nominations and hot searches. Regarding this kind of physique, he no longer wants to say anything. So, except for necessary business, I'd better keep a distance from my fans. Ningfeng shrugged and continued to play with his phone with his head lowered. He didn't look like he was going to perform right away. Jolin looked at his careless attitude and sighed sadly. A person from someone else's family wants to interact with fans all day long and then make a hot search. As a result, his family was forced to operate all day long, and the Buddhist monk looked like a half-disabled person. End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Fei. Chapter 358. Chapter 355. Sorry, no entry is allowed here. What's going on? Why doesn't Ningzhe come out? In the audience, a fan finally raised a question. As soon as these words came out, they attracted more echoes from around them. That's right, it's been so long since the scheduled time, why haven't you started yet? Host, go down, we want Ningzhe. We want Ningzhe, get down. Get down quickly. Fans kept shouting at the host on the stage, demanding to see Ningfeng. The host's hands behind his back were clenched involuntarily, and his palms were sweating nervously. What to do? He can't hold on any longer. While the fans were making a fuss, Chi Maoyi frowned, feeling that something was not quite right. She turned her head, pushed Chi Sijin, who was so bored that he put on his headphones and closed his eyes, and asked, "Do you think something will happen to Ningzhe?" Chi Sijin took off his headphones and looked confused. What did you say? Chi Maoyi rolled her eyes, ignored him, stood up and left. Where are you going? Chi Sijin was a little confused by her actions. Backstage. Backstage. Chi Sijin raised his eyebrows and hummed softly, if you sneak in, be careful of being thrown out. Only the staff can enter the backstage of the concert, and no one else can enter without permission. What's more, Ningfeng is a top figure in the entertainment industry. The security of his concert must be tighter, and it is impossible to sneak in. Chi Maoyi raised the corners of her mouth, showing a proud smile, and took out the pass she had worked so hard to get before and waved it in front of him as if to show off. Did you see it? This is called entering in an open and fair manner. She put her hands on her hips, glared at him, and said, do I look like someone who would sneak in? That's disrespectful to Ningzhe. Chi Sijin curled his lips and sneered in his heart. Hunting one Ning cub at a time, the barking is really affectionate. I do nt know what the niche boy did. Ningfeng give her a soul soup and fascinated her. Although he was very disgusted with Chi Maoyi's behavior of trying every possible means to meet her idol, he finally followed her. After all, if she was thrown out for seeing an idol, it would be the Chi family who would be thrown out. He followed Chi Maoyi to the backstage, and as expected, was stopped by someone. Sorry, miss, this is the backstage and non-staff members are not allowed to enter. Chi Mao Yi took out the pass and said, I have documents. Please let us in. The security guard glanced at the pass, and his expression suddenly became a little embarrassed. He glanced at his companion, and after receiving the other's look, he coughed lightly and said, Sorry, there are special circumstances today. The backstage is temporarily closed. You have a pass, can't come in, please go back. What? Chi Mao Yi suddenly said angrily, how can you do this? You gave the pass, and now you don't let anyone in. She dragged many little sisters to get this pass, and it took her 2 months of pocket money to get it. Now it's useless. I'm sorry, miss, I really can't, please go back. The security guard extended his hand in a gesture of invitation. The meaning was clear, that he was not allowed to enter. Chi Mao Yi was unwilling to give in. Since the pass was useless, she begged for mercy, security brother, just let me go in and take a look, okay? I am a fan of Ningzai's mother, and I am definitely not a suspicious person, can you let me meet him? The security guard was indifferent and expressionless. No, Chi Mao Yi refused to give up and continued, it's been more than 10 minutes since the scheduled start time of the concert, and Ningzai doesn't even show up. Did something happen? I'm sorry, miss, this is the artist's privacy and we are not in a position to disclose it, the security guard said solemnly. Chi Mao Yi stomped her feet angrily, can't you say something else besides sorry? Security, I'm sorry, miss, if you can't come in, you can't come in. Chi Mao Yi. Chi Saijin, who was standing aside and watching her argue with the security guard, finally couldn't help but laugh out loud, and received a blank look from her. If you can't get in, then you can't get in. If you can't see Ningfeng, you won't die. Let's go back. Chi Mao Yi glared at him fiercely and refused, no, I won't leave until I see Ningzai today. The backstage area was suddenly blocked, something must have happened. She wanted to stay. Even if she couldn't get in, she might be able to help. Chi Saijin shook his head and sighed, this man was hopeless. Chi Mao Yi has been stubborn since she was a child, and would not listen to anyone's advice. This time she kept her word, and the security guard refused to let her in, so she squatted directly at the door of the backstage, with the posture of guarding her until the end of the concert. The security guard's expression finally changed, miss, even if you squat here, we can't let you in. You'd better go back and don't fight with us. Don't worry, I won't break in. I'm just waiting here. If I can't get in, I don't believe Ningzai won't come out. The two security guards looked at each other, saw helplessness in each other's eyes, and let her go. Chi Saijin pursed her lips and felt a dull pain in her temples. Looking at her expression, he knew that this girl's temper was rising again. It's impossible to let her give up at this time. Let's wait until she calms down. So, Chi Saijin took out the headphones from his pocket and put them on again, leaning against the wall, tilting his head back slightly and closing his eyes lightly. 10 minutes later, Chi Mao Yi's legs were already numb from squatting, and Ningfeng still didn't move at all. The entrance to the backstage was quiet, except for her, the two security guards, and Chi Saijin, there was no one else. Chi Mao Yi's expression was a little stiff. If she hadn't known that there was only one entrance and exit here, she would have really thought that Ningfeng had left through another exit. I said, just give up. Maybe Ningfeng won't be able to come out today, Chi Saijin opened his eyes and advised her. Chi Mao Yi lowered her eyes, looking a little hurt. There is nothing more disappointing than waiting all day in vain to meet your idol. Chi Saijin sighed lowly, took off his headphones, stepped forward and patted her shoulder, let's go, I'll see you again when I have the chance. Ningfeng is not a god, is it possible that if I don't see him this time, I won't see him again? Besides, if she really wants to see Ningfeng, it's not like he can't help. Chi Saijin put his hands in his pockets, straightened his back, and squinted his eyes in the direction of the backstage, with a hint of dark color flashing under his light golden eyes. That guy, what on earth is he doing again? Because the light backstage was very dim, Chi Saijin was standing far away just now, and the two security guards never saw his face clearly. Now the perfect and enchanting facial features were clearly displayed in front of them. A flash of surprise flashed across their eyes involuntarily, and the next second, they were both stunned in place. Chi, second young master Chi. One of the security guards shouted with a trembling voice. Chi Saijin raised his eyebrows and nodded slightly to them. Security guard. The second son of the Chi family, one of the two top wealthy families in the imperial capital, had just returned from abroad recently and was in the limelight. They didn't expect them to bump into him. So, the person squatting on the ground, is also from the Chi family. Security guard. Did they keep the Chi family outside for more than 10 minutes? Isn't this seeking death? End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Fei. Chapter 359. Chapter 356, Are you ready to be a cow or a horse for you? The security guard's face changed immediately, and he was respectful for a second. Second young master, what are you? Oh, it's okay, you don't need to pay attention to me. I'm mainly here to accompany my little aunt, Chi Saijin said with a smile. And. The security guard turned his gaze stiffly to Chi Maoyi, his expression suddenly froze on his face, and his whole person was petrified. In that case, then, Miss Chi. Chi Maoyi's eyes suddenly lit up, thinking that he was going to let her in, and she stood up from the ground instantly. But because he squatted for too long and stood up too quickly, his vision went dark, his body became unstable, and he fell forward. Seeing that her face was about to come into close contact with the ground, Chi Maoyi couldn't help but close her eyes, preparing to face the next misery. However, the expected pain did not appear. 0.01 seconds before she was about to fall, Chi Saijin quickly grabbed her collar, like a cat by the scruff of the neck, and pulled her back. Be careful, Chi Saijin frowned and warned in a deep voice. Chi Maoyi stuck out her tongue at him and turned to look at the security guard, her eyes full of expectation. The security guard swallowed his saliva, and under her bright eyes, he weakly finished the rest of the sentence, Aren't you tired of squatting like this? Do you need to move a stool for you? The meaning is very clear, even if you are a member of the Chi family, if you cannot enter, you cannot enter. Seeing that there was no chance, Chi Maoyi's shoulders immediately slumped, her head lowered, and her whole body was as listless as a wilted flower. Woo woo woo, sad.jpg. Originally, she thought she would be able to see Ningzhe with the pass. She even prepared things for signing, but she couldn't even get in. I just want to hit a wall to death. Chi Maoyi walked to a corner not far away to grieve alone, closing in on herself on the spot. No love, no more love, no more life. Chi Saijin was standing aside, looking at her actions amusedly. Do you really want to see Ningfeng so much? The latter did not move, still facing the wall with his back to him, as if he was cut off from the outside world. Chi Saijin raised his eyebrows, raised the corners of his lips, coughed deliberately, and said, What if I said, I have a way for you to see him? He. Chi Maoyi's posture remained unchanged, her back turned to him, and she replied coldly with two syllables to express her ridicule towards him. Yo-ho! You don't believe it? Tisk, if she knew that he not only knew Ningfeng, but also beat him since he was a child, would she just roll her eyes and roll her eyes? Such a pity. A gleaming smile of schadenfreude flashed in Chi Saijin's eyes. Even if she rolls her eyes out of the universe, this is still a fact, and she cannot help but not believe it. But now, no matter how much he talks, she will think he is bragging, so she still has to prove it with actual actions. Chi Saijin took out her mobile phone and clicked on the chat box with Ning Feng. Ah Shi, come out for a moment. One of your little fans is almost autistic because he can't see you. He's dead again. Ning Feng cursed in a low voice, scolding the fool who sent him a WeChat message at this time and caused his tragic death. Sliding down the message bar, I saw that the idiot's note was, fourth brother. Ning Feng. He looked stiff. Look at the message he sent to himself again. Ning Feng. The next second, he jumped up from the sofa, staring at the phone, and carefully read the words Chi Saijin sent him word for word. You saw it right, and he understood it right. Ashi, fourth brother, has your account been hacked, shivering.jpg. Having said that, stealing Chi Saijin's account is as difficult as heaven and impossible. He now prefers to believe that Chi Saijin was penetrated, otherwise how could he say such a thing? Listen, I'm calling you your little fan, what an intimate tone. Sky. Fourth brother, is this crazy? Doesn't he always hate celebrities, fans, etc.? What happened? Ning Feng felt that his hand holding the phone began to tremble, and questions kept floating through his mind, as if there were tens of thousands of comments. What's wrong? Jolin was waiting anxiously for a call from the company, but he almost sent him away with a hum. Jolin patted his chest and tried his best to calm down his heart so that he would not look for life-saving pills now. Jolin took a deep breath and said with a smile, did a needle suddenly appear on the sofa and your butt, or did you find yourself I can't stand it anymore? Ning Feng looked at him with horrified eyes, unable to believe his sudden venomous tongue. I can understand the first half of the sentence, but what do you mean by the second half? Do you know that you don't know how to criticize others? You are not like me. It's a fact that you are good at it. Even if it's true, I'm still proud of it. Ha, Jolin twitched the corner of his mouth and said with a smile, stop talking nonsense, let me tell you, there is no news from the company yet. If this continues, the concert will be messed up, and you will really become a senior executive. A plate of food is served and left to be slaughtered. Jolin gritted his teeth and glared at him, I'm about to explode. Are you careless? Are you happy that you scared me into the hospital? Ning Feng, if I told you that one of my little fans has been waiting outside for more than 10 minutes to take a look at me, and her identity is not ordinary, you will definitely be surprised. After all, even Chi Saijin said that she was his fan, so she must be a die-hard fan. Jolin sneered and looked at his face with an expression that said if you make it up again and again, I won't believe it no matter how you make it up. Ning Feng. Ning Feng couldn't explain to him, so he just opened the door and walked out. Hey, where are you going? You can't go out and walk around now, it will be bad if you are seen by fans. Jolin's expression changed, he secretly said something bad, and quickly followed. Ashi, where are you? Chi Saijin raised his eyebrows, lowered his head and returned to his exact position. Entrance here. Ashi, okay, wait a minute, I'll be there right away. Chi Saijin raised the corner of his mouth with a smile, took back his phone, walked to Chi Mao Yi, patted her shoulder, and asked with a smile, if I can let you see Ning Feng, how will you repay me? Chi Mao Yi slapped his claws off angrily. She is already like this, and he is still in the mood to make fun of her? Snort. Bad guy. Chi Mao Yi turned her head, rolled her eyes, and said coldly, is it okay if I make you a cow or a horse? If he could let her see Ningze, she would never go eastward if he asked her to. The question is this possible? Chi Saijin curled up the corners of his lips and showed a successful smile, which made Chi Mao Yi suddenly have a bad premonition and an inexplicable feeling of being plotted against. She looked at him doubtfully, her eyes full of questions. Chi Saijin raised her chin in one direction, motioning her to look that way. Chi Mao Yi slowly turned her head following his line of sight, and then she saw Ning Feng, who was rushing here in a hurry. It turns out to be Ningfeng. Chi Maoyi's pupils shrank, and her eyes almost fell out of shock. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Fei. Chapter 360. Chapter 357, Fans Who Can't Afford to Offend. Ningfeng was not wearing sunglasses and a mask as usual at this time. His stunning and beautiful face was completely exposed to the air, and his temperament was calm and indifferent, just like a romantic nobleman. He hurriedly walked towards them with a pair of long legs, still holding his coat in his hand. He was obviously in a hurry. Jolin behind him was still mumbling, "Ancestor. What are you doing out here now that you are desperate? If someone sees it, the trouble will be even greater. If he is met by a fan and the situation gets out of control, he will not be able to solve it." Suddenly, Ningfeng's eyes moved and he stopped. His lazy eyes fell on Chi Maoyi. He only stayed for a moment, and then immediately turned his eyes to Chi Sijin behind her. Jolin behind him did not expect that he would stop suddenly, and almost tripped with his left foot and fell on him with his right foot. "You dash." Jolin opened his eyes wide and wanted to ask him what he wanted to do. However, he saw the corners of Ningfeng's mouth raised slightly, a smile appearing in his usually cold and lazy eyes, and he waved forward in an unconventional manner. Chi Maoyi, who thought he was greeting her, suddenly looked confused. "What's the situation?" The idol suddenly appeared in front of her. The idol smiled at her. The idol waved and said hello to her. Is she insane? Jolin followed Ningfeng's line of sight and was immediately shocked. These two are. His tone was a little hesitant. Although he usually came into contact with many upper-class wealthy families in the imperial capital, he knew very little about the real top wealthy Qi family. He had only seen Chi Maoyi and Chi Sijin from a distance a few times. Now the two people were standing in front of him so vividly that he couldn't recognize them. Ningfeng smiled and said, "My fans." After saying that, he walked towards Chi Maoyi, stood in front of her, and gave her a gentle and friendly smile. "Hello." Chi Maoyi is now a little square and her head is dizzy. The courage to scream when she looked at Ningfeng's videos and photos suddenly disappeared. She can't even speak clearly. Ning, 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 Zhe. Hearing her name, Ningfeng raised his eyebrows. Unexpectedly, she was actually his mother's fan. What a surprise. What a Ningze. Chi Maoyi suddenly screamed excitedly. She was afraid of attracting others, and immediately covered her mouth with her hand. Her eyes were wide open, like a duck being strangled by the neck, and her expression was extremely excited. It's a normal fan's reaction to seeing the real owner. Jolin understood. Ningfeng suddenly ran out just to see this little fan. Then the question is, what is the background of this fan, so that Ning Daxing, whose family has never been very fond of interactive business, can come out to meet him in person? Ningfeng chuckled lightly, his blue pupils shone with tiny lights. He extended his hand to her in a gentlemanly manner, and said gently, "It's our first time meeting you, Miss Chi, hello." Chi Maoyi shook his hand dizzy, as if her soul had left her body, and she didn't know what day it was. Jolin. Have to. I know where this fan comes from. There was still a little uncertainty just now. Now it is a real hammer. The young lady of the Qi family was held by the little princess who was held by Father Qi and the Qi family. No wonder he suddenly ran out in surprise. If it were him, he would probably have to crawl out on his knees to greet him. There is no way to do it. Who said this is the father we cannot afford to offend? Where are the fans? However, this untouchable fan was now smiling at Ningfeng with a silly look on his face, like a silly son of a landlord. Chi Saijin couldn't stand the embarrassing look of her drooling at the next second, so he took a step forward and pulled her behind him, raised his eyes and glanced at Ningfeng lightly. Why did it take you so long to come out? As soon as these words came out, not only Jolin, but also Chi Maoyi, who was wandering in the world, immediately turned to look at him with question marks on his face. No, isn't it? Do they know each other? Jolin's whole figure seemed to have been struck by lightning. His eyes wandered back and forth between Ningfeng and Chi Saijin, and he said in disbelief, do you know him? Ningfeng nodded and said yes. No. Chi Maoyi? Chi Maoyi looked at Chi Saijin's side face blankly, and his words just now appeared in her mind unconsciously. If I let you see Ningfeng, how will you repay me? How did she answer? Is it ready to make you a cow or a horse? Chi Maoyi's face turned dark immediately. End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy Enfei. Chapter 361. Chapter 358 is just a fan benefit. Okay, Chi Saijin, you're kidding me. Chi Maoyi's whole body exploded in an instant. When she thought that he had just witnessed the whole process of her frustration because she couldn't see Ningfeng, but he was still watching the show, she was so angry that even the joy of meeting her idol could not be covered up. Her anger. Chi Saijin twitched his lips and said, "Where did I fool you? It was you who said that if I could let you see Ningfeng, you would be my ox or horse." Hearing this, Ningfeng raised his eyebrows in surprise and was a little confused about whether to laugh or cry. "Miss Chi, you really want to see me so much?" "No, Ningzai, I." Chi Maoyi didn't expect that he would be such a bitch. He told her embarrassing story directly in front of Ningfeng. His face suddenly became hot, his eyes averted, and his expression was a little embarrassed. As a result, Chi Saijin's feet were severely crushed by the slender heels. Chi Saijin. Chi Saijin's face was distorted for a while, and the pain was visible to the naked eye. He took a breath and hissed lightly. "This girl, why is her foot so heavy? Are you going to step on his instep?" Ningfeng looked at Chi Saijin's grinning look, and then thought of his expressionless and cold look when he was with them. The two formed a sharp contrast, and he couldn't help but want to laugh. But he still held it back. After all, Chi Saijin was famous for holding grudges. If he laughed at him now, he would definitely not bypass him in the future. So, Ningfeng covered his lips with his fingers, coughed lightly, suppressed the smile in his heart, and said, "Brother Saijin, you have been standing outside for a long time, why don't you go and sit in my lounge? This scene would be really fun if someone saw it." Chi Maoyi was competing with Chi Saijin, and her eyes lit up when she heard this. Really? Can she really go to Ningzai's lounge? Ningfeng smiled and nodded, stretched out his hand and gestured, "Please." Chi Maoyi cheered excitedly and immediately ran to the lounge, leaving Chi Saijin where he was. She has wanted to see Ningzai's lounge for a long time. Chi Saijin gritted his teeth, "This girl." Ningfeng stood beside him, watching him bending slightly, presumably due to the aftermath of the step he had just taken. "Are you, okay?" Ningfeng asked with a sullen face and a low voice. Chi Saijin moved his aching feet and glanced at him coldly. Ningfeng was suppressing a smile, he could tell. "Laugh if you want to, don't hold it in." As soon as he finished speaking, Ningfeng couldn't bear it anymore. "Ha ha 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 ha, fourth brother, do you actually have this kind of status in the family?" Chi Saijin looked at him with cold eyes and laughed so hard that he couldn't stand up straight, and said in a deep voice, "Isn't it funny?" Ningfeng wiped the tears from laughter at the corners of his eyes, waved his hands, and said breathlessly, "No, it's not funny at all, ha 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 ha." Chi Saijin. "If you can, please lower the corners of your mouth that reach behind your ears." Jolin's eyes at this moment can no longer be described as surprised, it can be called terrifying. Ningfeng is a top-class person and has always been very strict with his expressions. He would never laugh wildly like this. Even in private, he has never shown such a true expression. Have he and Qi Ershao become so acquainted with each other? Jolin was suddenly confused again. If he is so familiar with Qi Ershao, does Qi Ershao know his current situation in the entertainment industry? Ningfeng debuted at a young age and became a with one song. He blocked the way of many people and hindered the eyes of many people. Therefore, the ill will towards him in the circle has not decreased at all over the years. Even in the current company, many senior executives dislike Ningfeng, even though he is the company's cash cow. Take this concert as an example. If something goes wrong, I'm afraid some senior executives in the company will take the opportunity to suppress Ningfeng. Originally, the path of original singers has not been easy in recent years, but if Ningfeng is suppressed again, then Ningfeng will not be able to do so in the future. What will happen is really worrying. He has been worried about this matter and mentioned it to Ningfeng frequently, but he always looked like he didn't care and didn't take it to heart at all. He was quite careless. Jolin sighed silently in his heart. If Ningfeng and Qi Ershao have a good relationship, then those people who want to cause trouble for him in the future will have to think carefully, right? Jolin looked at Ningfeng, who was arm in arm with Qi Sijin, lowered his head and fell into deep thought. Fourth brother, why did you suddenly come to my concert? Ningfeng walked towards the lounge and asked in a low voice. Qi Sijin glanced in the direction of Qi Maoyi and said, I came with that girl. Ningfeng clicked his tongue and crossed his arms, one girl at a time. Fourth brother, it's not a good idea for you to do this. She is your aunt no matter what. Although there is no blood relationship, and this aunt is 1 year younger than him. Qi Sijin sneered, his eyes darkened, bullshit aunt. Even if everyone told her that she was his aunt, he would not admit it. In his heart, she will never be his aunt. Ningfeng looked at his stubborn expression and sighed, you tell me, you can do it whenever you want. You have been hesitating for so many years, but we all seem to be more anxious than you. Qi Sijin and Qi Maoyi grew up and were childhood sweethearts. He liked Qi Maoyi. They were not blind, so they could naturally see it. It was just that these two had a special relationship, so it was hard for them to say anything. However, after all these years, he has still been silent and inactive, only maintaining the relationship between aunt and nephew with her. If one day, Qi Maoyi falls in love, I'm afraid he will go crazy. Qi Sijin looked at Qi Maoyi's figure, his eyes darkened, he pursed his lips and said, let's talk about it later. Now is indeed not a good time. If he wants to be with Qi Maoyi, if nothing else, his old man's test will be enough to give him a headache. Ningfeng, okay, I can't care about what's going on between you. The two of them lowered their heads and whispered, and then arrived at the lounge. As soon as they entered the door, they saw Qi Maoyi looking at his poster hanging on the wall infatuatedly and unable to take her eyes away. Ningfeng wanted to laugh a little. To be honest, he was quite curious as to why Qi Maoyi was his fan. After all, he glanced sideways at Qi Sijin. How could fourth brother, a person with such a possessive personality, allow her to chase stars? This was simply the most incredible thing he had ever heard. Miss Qi, if you like it, I still have a photo magazine that I just shot, you can take it. Real. Qi Maoyi felt like she was going crazy with excitement. Oh my god. What kind of magical luck is this? She not only met her idol today, but also had a photo book of her idol. No, no, she's going to die. Is Awei here? Come and die. Ningfeng raised the corners of his lips, a gentle smile flashed in his eyes, and said with a smile, of course, it's a fan benefit. Qi Maoyi. She can. End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy Enfe. Chapter 363. Chapter 359 If it happens again, get out. Ningfeng gave Jolin a look, and the latter stood up helplessly, found a few magazines signed by Ningfeng and gave them to her. Chi Mao Yi couldn't hide the joy on her face, and Chi Sijin couldn't help but complain, a magazine can make you so happy. I'm happy. Do you care about me? Chi Mao Yi stuck out her tongue at him. Without any future. Besides, Ningfeng held back his laughter. Poof. His current expression is one of jealousy in capital letters. I didn't expect that Chi Sijin would have such a day, ha ha ha, I really laughed him to death. Chi Sijin glanced at him fiercely, and still dared to laugh. Miss Chi, I didn't expect you to be my fan, this is really an honor for me. Ningfeng coughed lightly, ignored Chi Sijin's eyes that seemed to be murderous, and turned to chat with Chi Mao Yi. Ah! Chi Mao Yi was completely stunned. When she realized it, she quickly said excitedly, No, no, Ningzai, it should be my honor. You don't know how much I like to listen to your songs. Ningfeng chuckled. This time, he was really surprised. After all, most of his current fans are fans of his face. There are not many fans who are really fans of him because of his songs. Since you like it, it seems that my singing is not bad, Ningfeng teased to himself. It was just a joke at first, but unexpectedly, Chi Mao Yi's expression suddenly became serious. Ningzai, I am really your fan. I have been following you since you first released your album, so don't belittle yourself. Ningfeng was stunned for a moment, then nodded with a smile. Suddenly, he asked again, Can I know why you like my songs? His question was a bit strange. Chi Mao Yi was stunned. Of course it's because you sing well. Apart from that, is there nothing else? Ningfeng asked with an inexplicable emotion flashing in his eyes. Chi Mao Yi pondered for a moment and said, If there is anything special about it, it would probably be, I don't know why, but your song makes me feel very familiar, as if I have heard it somewhere. Speaking of this, her expression was a little strange. It stands to reason that Ningfeng is an original singer. He writes lyrics and music for every song. She will never hear similar songs. But it is so strange. The first time she heard his singing online, her heart arose. A long-lost feeling that was both familiar and unfamiliar. It was also because of this that she fell in love with Ningfeng. Ningfeng fell silent immediately, his eyes lowered, and the loneliness in his eyes was fleeting, and no one noticed it. Chi Sijin, who was sitting next to him, also flashed his eyes after hearing her words, not knowing what he was thinking. They didn't speak, but Jolin's expression changed immediately. If her words were spread, it could be understood as Ningfeng plagiarizing other people's works, which would be fatal to him. Therefore, he immediately said, Miss Chi, please don't talk nonsense. Do you mean that our Ningfeng is suspected of plagiarism? Chi Mao Yi didn't know why he wanted to go to that place, but thinking back carefully about what he just said, it was indeed ambiguous. She quickly explained, No. Ningzai, I'm not saying you plagiarized, I just have a feeling. Looking at her panicked explanation, Ningfeng said nonchalantly, It's okay, I know what you mean and I won't misunderstand you. Chi Mao Yi breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Ningzai is considerate, otherwise she would definitely be expelled from her fandom. At that time, not only will I not be able to join Ningzai's support club, I'm afraid I won't even be able to go to some of his usual concerts. Correct. Chi Mao Yi straightened up suddenly. When it came to the concert, she seemed to have forgotten something. Chi Mao Yi was so remorseful that she almost wanted to slap herself. It's all her fault that she was so excited to see Ningfeng that she forgot the purpose of coming backstage. She raised her head and glanced at Ningfeng, and asked cautiously, Ningzai, it's been so long since the scheduled concert time, why don't you go on stage? Did something happen? Ningfeng did not answer, but looked at Jolin. The meaning of his actions was so obvious that Jolin fell silent. Chi Mao Yi also followed his gaze and looked at Jolin, her eyes full of curiosity. In the end, Jolin finally lost his battle in the eyes of these two people. He sighed and said resignedly, "Forget it, just say it." With the permission of his manager, Ningfeng slowly told what happened before. "What, you said there was something wrong with Ningfeng's concert?" At this time, the Lu family in the imperial capital. In the study room, Lu Qingran was reviewing the documents in his hand. Hearing the report from his subordinates, he raised his head in surprise and narrowed his eyes. "Have you found out who did it?" The subordinate shook his head and said, "No, you have instructed Mr. Ning to report anything to you as soon as possible, so we have not taken any action to investigate the matter." Lu Qingran frowned and said displeased, "I asked you to follow him to protect him, not to spy on him. Go and find out the matter for me immediately." "Yes." The subordinate nodded and retreated. Lu Qingran put aside the document in his hand, picked up his phone, and clicked into the chat box with Ningfeng. Chat records are also kept above the prompts for adding friends. Although he and Ningfeng were friends, he never sent a message to him. Lu Qingran frowned, thought for a moment, and then sent a message to ask about the situation. "I heard that you are in trouble and need help." He thought for a while, then deleted the sentence and typed it again, "Did your concert go well?" This way, it won't seem too deliberate." Lu Qingran smiled. However, after a while, Ningfeng still did not reply to his message, as if he had not received it. Lu Qingran's brows furrowed tightly, the aura around her body gradually became lowered, and her expression was not very happy. Over there, in the lounge, Ningfeng and Chi Mao Yi were chatting, and during this period they received a message from Lu Qingran. However, he just glanced at it with a frown, and then put the phone away. Chi Sijin noticed his movements and asked, "What's wrong?" "Ningfeng, it's okay, he's just an annoying guy." Chi Sijin nodded and said, "Oh." He didn't reply, so Lu Qingran didn't give up. Instead, he kept sending him messages, causing his cell phone to keep ringing as if there was something wrong. Ningfeng's eyes became very dark. Chi Mao Yi said, "Well, Ningze, why don't you reply to the message first? Maybe the other party is in a hurry. Looking like this, he is really in a hurry, otherwise I wouldn't keep sending him messages." Ningfeng nodded, picked up the phone with a smile, and pressed the voice button. The next second, his violent and thunderous voice echoed throughout the lounge, "You are not allowed to send any more messages to the labor and management. If you do, you will be blocked. Get out." Snapped. The mobile phone was placed firmly on the table. Chi Sijin. Chi Mao Yi. Jolin. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy Enfei. Chapter 364. Chapter 360 The Ancient Idiot Tyrant's Routine. Jolin's face showed a trace of cracks. Chi Mao Yi turned to stone directly on the spot, staring blankly at Ningfeng, who suddenly lost his character for some reason. Except for Chi Sijin, who only raised his eyebrows slightly and had no other reaction, the other two people present looked disillusioned. Ningfeng narrowed his eyes slightly and snorted coldly. Even though he cursed loudly, the anger in his heart still couldn't dissipate. That stupid man still dares to bother him after all this time. Who made you so angry? Chi Sijin changed his position and leaned directly on the back of the sofa. His posture was lazy and casual, and his eyes looked at him curiously. Ningfeng snorted lightly, a flash of sarcasm flashed in his eyes. "It's nothing, just an idiot." He rubbed the jade ring on his index finger, his eyes narrowed, and he couldn't help but think of the situation that day. He is the spokesperson of the Lu group, and he must not miss the Lu group's cocktail party. However, since he is not interested in this kind of social gathering where people are drinking and pretending to be affectionate, he casually dealt with a few investors and just wanted to find a room. Wait until the reception is over. But he never expected that he would encounter the old stupid and overbearing president's routine. He went to the wrong room and entered the room of the young director of the Lu group, that is, the famous dandy and unruly eldest son of the Lu family in imperial capital. Forget it, what the hell? Damn it, he happened to bump into Lu Qinggran, who had just taken a shower. There is no need to describe the next scene too much, you can figure it out by yourself. The rumored dandy and wanton eldest son of the Lu family may not be very smart. He was determined that he wanted to sacrifice himself for his position. He didn't know it, either dead or alive, and raised his chin with his fingers. He said it with a 20% accuracy. One sentence, you want to be mine? Just you. Ningfeng chuckled at that time. I can your people. His boss Li Ju once had a wise saying, never fight with an idiot, just do it directly so that he can never fight again. So, who had always regarded Li Ju's words as golden rules, he gave Lu Qinggran a hammer on the spot and walked away. The result after that can be imagined. Although Lu Qinggran is a bit stupid, he is still a member of the Lu family. Can't he still find a little star? Of course not possible. So, in recent times, he has been visited by that idiot more than once under various names. If it were any other celebrity, he might really be afraid of Lu Qinggran's identity, but impossible. If you really want to count, his background may be more powerful than Lu Qinggran's, but he usually keeps a low profile. So, facing Lu Qinggran's repeated threats, he was not afraid at all. Come on, be tough, let's see who is more stubborn. But for some unknown reason, Lu Qinggran suddenly changed her temper and stopped threatening him, instead harassing him. It's not the harasser with evil intentions, but he is like air, appearing next to him all the time, and he can't get rid of it. Ever since I didn't know what method he used to add his WeChat account last time, he felt bad. As expected, something happened during his concert this time, and this idiot immediately got involved. Really? I want someone to slap him to death. Ningfeng thought, the air pressure around his body dropped even lower. Jolin coughed a few times and signaled him to pay attention to his image. This was in front of fans. If his character failed, would he still want to be in the industry? Ningfeng, who was so angry that Lu Qinggran was so angry, suddenly came back to his senses, realized that there were outsiders, and immediately smiled sheepishly. Sorry, I was a little emotional, didn't it scare you? Chi Mao Yi calmed down her fright. No, it's okay. It's just that Ningzai suddenly looked very fierce just now, which was a bit scary. But if we really talk about it, how could Ningfeng be so angry and baring his teeth and swearing just now, so like those violent little wolf dogs in the novels she had read? Chi Mao Yi was instantly shocked by her thoughts. What is she thinking? Her Ningzai is obviously a well-behaved little puppy, okay. She must have read too many novels. She convinced herself so. It's okay. Ningfeng breathed a sigh of relief. He always managed his expression very well, but this was the first time he lost his composure in front of fans. It's all that Lu Qinggran's fault. Ningfeng couldn't help but grit his teeth when he mentioned him, and he couldn't help but feel angry. Over there, Lu Qinggran clicked on the voicemail, and after hearing Ningfeng's curse, she almost deafened her ears. Lu Qinggran. As for? Lu Qinggran's eyes flashed with helplessness. This misunderstanding seems to be getting bigger and bigger. Difficult to do. His first encounter with Ningfeng was indeed a mistake, not even a good one. He drank a little too much that day, so he opened a room. Unexpectedly, a group of friends started video chatting with him, and they got high. A few grown men got drunk and played truth or dare through the video. He lost, and those idiots forced him to act out a plot from a classic novel about bosses on the spot. The lines, emotions, etc. had to be in place. That night, he didn't know if his brain was tricked, but he actually agreed to their idiotic request and turned around to find props. Then Ningfeng came in. Everything that happened after that is also known. Lu Qingran is still thinking weirdly that Ningfeng was so focused on beating him that he didn't see that the cell phone placed not far away was still in video mode. Yes, he was videotaped being beaten to a black and blue face by a starlet, and the process was very detailed. If he hadn't handled it properly at the right time, those idiots would have sent the video of him being beaten to the group of young men in Imperial Capital. At that time, all face will be really lost. However, despite this, he was ridiculed by the group of friends for a long time. Being beaten by a little star is definitely a shame. Can he bear it? Cannot. So he started looking for Ningfeng. You won't know if you don't check, but you'll be shocked if you check. Ningfeng is actually the spokesperson of Lu Group. He, a serious young director of the Lu Group, has never seen him before. With a mentality of revenge, he went directly to the door with the diagnosis certificate issued by the hospital. He originally thought that Ningfeng beat him that day because he didn't know his identity and thought he wanted to sexually harass him. If he knows his identity, his face will definitely look particularly wonderful when the time comes. When he thought of that scene, he felt waves of pleasure in his heart. However, he thought wrong. Not only did Ningfeng know his identity, but his attitude was extremely strong. He even gave him a card when he took out the hospital diagnosis certificate. When has he ever been dumped by someone in his life? It's simply unbearable. Lu Qingran was so angry that he directly threatened him with his status as a young director of the Lu Group. Who knows? This Ningfeng actually threw the expired contract between him and Lu in his face and told him to get out. Lu Qingran. Your sister. End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy Enfei. Chapter 365. Chapter 361 Return to the Imperial Capital. The sky is clear and clear, surrounded by white clouds. On the plain, Qi Jinkai tilted his head slightly, glanced softly at Li Ju, who was sleeping peacefully, and whispered to the flight attendant not far away for a blanket, and gently covered her with it. When several flight attendants not far away saw this, they immediately shouted excitedly, "Ah! Isn't it too sweet? That man is so handsome." Sure enough, all the good-looking guys belong to other families. It's just that I'm so good-looking and good to my girlfriend, I'm so sad. Okay, no matter how sour it is, it's not yours, so don't look at it. A few people reluctantly looked back. Qi Jinkai gently held Li Ju's head with his hands and moved the position slightly so that she could lean on his shoulder more comfortably. Then he took out the magazine at hand and read it quietly. Other passengers looked at this peaceful scene with envy, and felt sad for the dog food they were forced to eat. Qi Jinkai frowned, feeling uncomfortable with the constant glances from around him. He didn't like the feeling of being watched. But there is no other way. His seat is against the aisle, and Li Ju is on the other side. If he gets out of the way, all the eyes of those people will fall on Li Ju, which will make him even more unhappy. So, he had to endure the looks that made him uncomfortable. Qi Jinkai regretted 10,000 times why he didn't take a private plane and listen to Li Ju instead. He glanced sideways and lifted the blanket on Li Ju, a look of helplessness flashing in his eyes. There was no other way. She didn't want to take a private plane and said she wanted to experience economy class, so he had no choice but to comply with her. The matter in Zhu has been basically solved. The rest can be left to the people below. They don't need to stay here anymore. Nanfan's inspection report on Li Ju has been ambiguous and undecided. The reason is that the equipment and machines in Zhu are a bit crude, and some precise inspection data cannot be confirmed until they return to the imperial capital. According to Li Ju's situation, it is not known when the disease will relapse. At this time, Nanfan is inseparable. So, he decided to come back with her. Li Ju disagreed at first. So far, several major families have not made it clear. She was worried. In addition, the Mo family was also a problem. But Qi Jinkai was extra determined to take her back to the imperial capital. In his heart, no matter how important things were, they were not as important as her. After much persuasion, he finally convinced Li Ju. This is when the current scene appeared. Li Ju slept well and peacefully because Qi Jinkai was beside her. She didn't wake up until the plane landed. "Are you awake?" Qi Jinkai looked at her, raised his eyebrows, and said with a smile, "You woke up just in time." If she still can't do it, he probably has to carry her off the plane. Li Ju's eyes were still filled with confusion that had not yet dissipated. He blinked his clear eyes and asked in a low voice, "Are you here?" So fast. How did she remember that she seemed to have just gotten on the plane? "You slept all the way, so of course you feel fast." Li Ju stood up from her seat, flexed her muscles, and stretched her waist. The hem of her shirt lifted up with her movements, revealing a slender white waist that was dazzlingly tight under the lights of the airplane. Her actions made Qi Jinkai's eyes darken, and he immediately picked up the coat next to him and put it on her body, covering up the eye-catching whiteness. Li Ju looked back at him in surprise. Qi Jinkai coughed lightly, his eyes averted for a moment, and said, "Let's go, Jing Ai and the others are waiting." The two of them took their luggage, and Li Ju saw that they were still close to the exit. It was a long distance and there were so many people in the airport that I immediately felt too lazy to leave. She stopped and looked at Qi Jinkai pushing two suitcases in front, with a sly look in her eyes. Li Ju took 2 steps at a time, walked forward quickly, and sat on one of the suitcases, as if he didn't want to leave by himself. Qi Jinkai suddenly stopped and looked back at her helplessly. Under her smiling eyes, he let go of the hand holding the suitcase handle, changed the hold on the suitcase handle with his right hand, and pulled the other hand with his left hand. He pushed his suitcase in front of him and continued walking. Just like that, in the crowded airport, a man with a tall figure and a cool temperament had a suitcase in each hand. On the suitcase behind him, there was a slender and lazy girl sitting, which annoyed the passers-by. Frequent attention. Master. After leaving the airport, Jing Yi and Jing Er, who had been waiting outside for a long time, immediately greeted them. They wanted to take the luggage, but when they saw Li Ju sitting on it, they immediately retracted their hands. Qi Jinkai nodded, turned to look at Li Ju, who had not walked a step since just now, and joked, "I wonder if your service, Miss Li, is satisfactory." Li Ju curled her lips, got off the suitcase, seemed to think about it seriously, and said, "Not bad, Qi Sanyi's service is very good." Hearing this, Qi Jinkai's eyes flashed with light and he said, "In that case, is there any reward?" Li Ju raised his eyes and asked, "What is the reward?" Qi Jinkai raised his thin lips and pointed at his cheek, his meaning was obvious. "It's very simple, just a kiss." Ahem. Jing Yi and Jing Er on the side almost choked to death when they heard what he said. "Are you so fierce? Asking for a kiss as soon as you come up?" Li Ju's face turned dark immediately. This person is always pushing the envelope. Kiss the ass. She pulled him away and got straight into the car without even giving him a look. Qi Jinkai stood there, touched his nose, looked at her with a smile, and then got into the car. His tall body squeezed into the back seat, and the space in the car immediately became cramped. Li Ju frowned and moved to the side. "There is such a big place in front, why do you choose to, Before she finished speaking, the next second, she suddenly opened her eyes wide, staring blankly at the enlarged handsome face in front of her, with a touch of softness on her lips. Li Ju. He actually dared to kiss her? Chi Jinkai looked at her stunned look, and a smile flashed in his eyes. He didn't stay too long, just kissed her lightly, like a dragonfly touching water, but for Li Ju, the feeling on his lips never disappeared for a long time. Scene 1 and Scene 2 of Just Getting in the Car. Haven't seen it? So, what happened during the time when I went to estate? It's only been a while since we last met. Is the progress bar pulling up so fast? You. Li Ju finally came to his senses, and immediately glared at Chi Jinkai angrily, wanting to slap him, but before he could do anything, he was scooped into his arms and held tightly. Li Ju, who was almost out of breath. Li Ju sneered twice. He hadn't applied the roof tiles for a few days. Do you really think that since she was ill now, he could do whatever he wanted? She narrowed her eyes dangerously, reached out to Chi Jinkai's waist, spotted a piece of soft flesh, and twisted it hard, quickly, and in a 180-degree circle. Chi Jinkai's face was distorted as expected. End of this chapter.